Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak, and it is Saturday. We got a 10-race card on tap. We got a fast main track. We got a firm turf course, and we got some huge news. If you're a Rainbow Six player, and even if you're not, you're going to want to play today because we got a $300,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six pool. $300,000. It's a 20-cent wager, and it's between the races 5 and 10 today. The last 6 races on the card. $300,000 guaranteed. Going to be fun to watch to see how much money comes in. But we're not done. We also have a nice carryover in a Super High Five, which is in the last race each and every day. Over $4,300 in that pool. You pick the first 5 finishes in the last race, a dollar wager, and see if you can nail the Super High Five. And Katie, they've been doing a good job with that. We mention this every single day, the Super High Five. I'm jealous. I can't figure out how to win it.
It's such a challenging bet. It's such a puzzle, but it's so fun. And that's a pretty nice carryover today to start. You know they're going to bet that up.
You're going to bet that up, and of course the $300,000. Needless to say, they're going to be betting that. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Rainbow Six. There were 203 tickets alive yesterday. 6 out of 6, no singles. It was a pretty chalky day. Don't know if that's going to happen again today. There's a couple of races there that we got a 2-year-old race in there that we'll see how things play out. You might have to go a little deep there, but that's a little further on in our analysis. Right now, we're going to start where we do it each and every day at race 1. This one is 6 furlongs. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life, $6,250. Scratch the 2 horse in here, and that's Forest Friends. And we want to go back and show you a horse that we both have on top of our ticket. Currently on the board at 7-2 is the number 6, and that is Photoshan.
Photoshan, I think this horse is great. He's so consistent, and last time out he had quite a bit of trouble when this was an odd race for him. He was stretching out to a mile. He was uncharacteristically coming from off the pace, and he got fanned 6 to 7 wide around the turn. I love to see him cutting back to 6 furlongs today. He was on a 2-race win streak prior to that last start when he stretched out, and I think you're going to see him return to his forwardly placed running style with that turn back in distance.
Yeah, I basically believe he lost all chance in that race, and that's the reason I put him on top. I'm a forgiving sort, as you know. No, I just thought I'd put him on top of the ticket. And look at that, we're in total agreement with our exacta. We both have the 3 Tease 2-step, beaten 2 lengths by aforementioned Photoshan. That was back on April 23rd. Now going to renew that rivalry today after defeating 6,252 lifetime claimers at his next start. And following that, after that start, with a 4-wide third at this same level and distance. So it sort of makes Photoshan look a little better, and certainly number 3 2-step looks like he's in good form right now.
Completely agree, and I think he might have bounced a little bit off that nice score a couple starts back. I expect him to be better today.
Well, who else did you use on the opening ticket? You went with the number 8 horse in here, and that's Bellstorm.
Yeah, this one I thought similarly regressed last time out after a big effort. He finished 6th last time out on May 8th at the $12,500 level. He's going to make his first start off the claim today for trainer Bernardo Lopez. Should appreciate the class relief, too, as this will be the first time he's going to run for this tag.
Yeah, I threw in the 5 DNA approvers, cutting back to this 3/4 of a mile distance after breaking from post 10 in its last race. Went up, set the pace, weakened in that race to finish 5th against this level of competition, but that was going a mile. Jessica Campitelli, Octavio Bagata Jr., just the old turnback move. Thought maybe this horse with the turnback and distance could, grab a share of the opening event, but it looks like the 3 and 6 are the way Katie and I are going to go in. That race was 6 and 3, I should say. Second race this afternoon, 1 mile. The main track listed it as fast. These are claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life or 3-year-olds, and we do have a scratch in here of number 6, Some Midnight Star. And once again, we're in agreement. We went with the number 4, and that is Private Journal.
I'm a little surprised that you have this one on top because I wasn't sure we were going to be in agreement, but you had to have been then as impressed as I was with this horse's first start last time out and the win, because he is going to be facing winners for the first time today. I was really impressed what he did in his career debut. Kicked clear to a 2 1/4 length win first time out for trainer Stanley Gold. It was so professional. He just stalked the pace and drew off nicely. For Rodney Sudin was in the irons. He's going to stay aboard today and look to get a win streak going.
Yeah, and this horse, the barn has been on fire all spring long, and they're about 21% with horses winning consecutive races. And I just thought, off that performance, stepping up to the next logical level. So that's why I liked it under 2 lifetime conditions here. That's number 4, Private Journal. I went with the 3 in second, Cool Quitica, I think it's, how's that pronounced, that one? That's a tough one. Quitaka, that's right, we went through this last time. Making his first start since setting the pace and drawing clear to defeat $12,500 maidens at this distance back on April 18th. Antonio Sano, Edgar Zayas returning on the sophomore. I thought he was a logical choice to throw on the ticket. You went with the number 5, Furious Shot in second.
Yeah, and you used him also on the ticket. He's going to look to cure a bit of a case of second-itis today. He's been second in each of his last 2 starts at the level and distance. He was beaten more than 8 lengths last time out, but he was also more than 6 clear of the show horse. He was the favorite that day on May 25th. I thought he was a logical choice to figure in here as well, but again, hasn't quite shown that he wants to get over that hump and win.
Yeah, you know, 4 of his last 5 races, as you mentioned, he's been on the board. You know, maybe he's going to run well in this spot today, and I just thought that he could be the key to success in running well in here. And you also used the number 8 horse in here, and that is JC Universal.
He knows Furious Shot well. He finished 3rd just behind him in 2 of his last 3 starts, so he's going to try to turn the tables today.
Well, we got our feature race in the 3rd race today, and it is 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. It's Phillies 3-year-olds. It's an overnight handicap, $60,000, and it is the Miss Patty overnight handicap. We do have a scratch in here of number 2, Great Majestic, and we both, well, I have the 1 Susie B on top of my ticket, and we want to go back and show you Susie B's last performance, which she should move forward off of.
I agree. I think she has a great shot in here, especially after her last start. We're going to show you here. She's the 5. That's a steady shortly after the start, take up a bit, and then she's going to be a little bit keen. You're going to see her being a little bit strong and pulling on the rider there, going around the backstretch as she wants to creep up a bit. She's going to end up finishing 3rd in this race behind 2 other fillies that are in this race. That's the 6, Cosmic Harmony, you're going to see, is the 1 in this race who's going to score an easy wire-to-wire win. And you're going to see Susie B make up some ground to get up for 3rd in this race. And I thought that was a pretty useful start for her, considering it was just her first start against winners and wasn't far off from the place.
And the horse that was second in that race was the Fleet Mary, so she's back today. So I went with the number 1 Susie B. As you said, a lightly raced daughter of English Channel, has shown tons of ability in her 2 previous races. I thought that was a nice race last time out. But on paper, the horse that you have on top is certainly the one to beat, and that's number 6, Cosmic Harmony.
The way this race is shaping up from a speed perspective sold me on this horse, because she scored an easy wire-to-wire victory last time out, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of speed in here again today. Think she could steal it. The kicker for me, she's a perfect 2 for 2 at this distance.
Yeah, and she's also a 3-time winner on this turf course in 6 previous races. I mentioned the 7, the Fleet Mary, who we both have on the ticket. Certainly belongs here. You know, split both Cosmic Harmony and Susie B last time out. Didn't run a bad race at all. And if she jumped up and won it, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. She always seems to show up and run a race, but she hasn't yet won at this distance, has a 2nd and 2/3.
Well, let's go to race number 4 today, and this one is a 6-furlong event. It's an allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming tag would be $16,000. Scratch the number 2 horse in here, Little Danielle. And I wanted to go back and show you a performance of it was the 1 horse that day, Silver Fog, the horse I have on top of my ticket. Actually made this horse my best bet today, and you're going to see why. The 1 here sort of gets, you know, shuffled back, and if you go a little further on, you'll see she actually ends up behind the pack in this race. She gets shuffled back to last. You'll see as she'll go out of your screen right now. And then when she turns to home, she's 5 wide on the turn, and she comes over and she runs a really nice 2nd in that race. And I thought, you know, overcoming that, troubled beginning, she had to sit behind horses, and she runs well in here, and she just keeps coming, and I just thought I'd make her my top pick this afternoon in this race. And that was prior to finishing 2nd against those optional claimers last time out at this 6-furlong distance. I thought it was a great performance.
It was a really nice run, and she finished 2nd to a very nice filly from the Gustavo Delgado barn in Distinta. That's a nice one. Stakes caliber filly, has to be on the ticket, but I'm really excited about the 3 in this race. That's Colt Classic. This one's going to be making her first start since last November for trainer Ralph Nix, when she debuted a 5 3/4 length winner over at Gulfstream Park West. She's going to debut with Lasix today, and she's coming off a long layoff, but this is a filly that has really been doing some nice things in the morning. She had a bullet 5-furlong move on May 17th. The horse that was 2nd fastest that day was Speechify, also from that barn. So she actually went faster than Speechify that day. I think this could be a nice one. Might need a race, but I think she can be a nice one.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason I put her in 2nd in there, and I went with the horse with the recency in it, with the number 6 Silver Fog, Colt Classic, for all the reasons. Another horse coming off the layoff, is a really, really nice horse, and that's the 5 Moment of Delight. This one is a multiple stakes place daughter of AP Indy. She was actually second in both the Susan's Girl and the My Dear Girl divisions of the Sire Stakes at age 2. She makes her first start. She came up a bit empty. That was in a $75,000 optional claimer right here on March 29th. That was her first race back from their 2-year-old season. She got oodles of back class. Great connections. I think this horse can wake up at a nice price. It's a nice filly.
She's a very nice filly. And you know what? When she finished 5th in that race, look at who was the winner of that race. Lavender Chrissy from the Dale Romans barn, stakes caliber filly, and Huasca, who just won stake here last week. Really nice fillies. And I was talking to Bill Kaplan earlier in the week. He was excited to enter her on Wednesday. He says she's doing great.
Yeah, and that's good to know because this horse is, it absolutely classes up perfectly in this race. I think we got the 3 logical horses in there, and I think you got to box them around and everything like that. It's part of our first Pick 4 sequence. Race number 5 is where the Rainbow Six starts this afternoon. And don't forget, we got a $300,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf. 3-year-olds and up, maiden special weight. We have one scratch of number 10, Overseer. And I thought this was a pretty wide open race. I went with the 4, Over the Limit, and I'll tell you why. Then you can tell me about your 5 horse in here, and that's True Diplomacy. No, I want to show you a video of True Diplomacy. She's going to highlight why she picked True Diplomacy.
Well, we're going to take a look back at this last race here from True Diplomacy and Over the Limit. And these two are both coming out of the same race. They know each other very, very well. We're going to hopefully get this video going in just a sec, but we're going to have to cut out of it. But I'll tell you what happened. True Diplomacy rallied 3 wide to get up for second, just a half length in front of Over the Limit at this 1 mile and 1/16th distance. She's going to look to break a streak of second-itis today, but, we're going to show you the video now instead. So let's take a look at True Diplomacy. Rallies 3 wide here. You're going to see he's the 8 there, and he's just going to best Over the Limit. These horses know each other well, and I think at this distance, True Diplomacy might have the edge, but Over the Limit is going to get a rider upgrade today to Harry Hernandez, and I think that might be able to give him a leg up.
Yeah, I did go with the number 4, Over the Limit, is sitting, I believe, on the winning performance today after showing steady progress. And each start on the turf today, which includes that 3rd place finish at this level and distance last time out, Ricky Alonso has the son of Wagon Limit working well, and as you mentioned, got apprentice Harry Hernandez in the saddle. So I just thought this is the way to go. Did not use the number 5, True Diplomacy, on my ticket, and that's the beauty of this first race of the Rainbow Six sequence. I did go with the number 9, Giants Passion, in second, who's stretching out today to 1 mile and 1/16th again after surrendering a late lead to finish second as the favorite against this familiar competition going 7.5 furlongs. If you're a speed figure aficionado or a buyer figure aficionado, this one has the highest buyer figures in the field, and that's the number 9, Giants Passion. As I look down, it's the morning line favorite.
Yeah, I did not have that one on the ticket, but again, I think you're right. This is a race where you're going to have to go fairly deep, maybe taking 4 or 5 in this race and going a little shallower later on in the card. I think you also have to throw in the 7, and you have them on the ticket as well. That's Boca Scuttlebutt, and this one is one that has faced some tough competition. Look at the horses in the past performances. Ulysses from the Chad Brown barn, Extensible, Cordero from the Todd Pletcher barn. Those are nice horses he's run against.
Yeah, and the people will see it ran for $75,000 last time out, and now stepping up to maiden special weight company. I think it's a total lateral move here.
Completely agree.
Don't even pay attention to that in my estimation. I think Boca Scuttlebutt fits perfectly with this level of competition. Second choice on the morning line. As you mentioned, he's stepping up today, if you believe that. He was second. He's been knocking heads with some really nice horses. I think a horse you got to have on the ticket. But I like the fact that we're a little different in here because that makes the Rainbow Six all that more exciting. Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon, 7 furlongs, and this is where our pick 5 of the afternoon kicks off. This is a claimer, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250, and we do have a scratch in here of the number 1 horse, and that is Blue Grass Derby, and we both have the 6 Beantown Skipper on top of our ticket. And Beantown Skipper, why'd you go that way?
Well, he's looking for 2 in a row. He scored a nice win last time out. at this level and distance. That was on May 16th, and I think distance is the key here. This 6-year-old has never finished out of the money when running at 7 furlongs. He's got a win, 2 seconds and 2/3 from just 5 starts. Tyler Gaffleone's going to stay aboard, and the other key for me is that this horse has been running in open company, whereas a lot of other horses in here seem to be coming off performances with condition claimers.
Well, I have the number 4 in second. It's Be a Bull, and you have the 2 in both second and third in here. It's just a little bit of a typo up there. So we'll see how Feels Like Flying is going to do that. Let me tell you about the 4 first. Be a Bull, stepping up the competition. First start since drawing away to defeat $8,000 condition claimers here on April 25th. Is stepping up. But it's Kirk Zadie. He's been on fire. He's 34% with horses winning, Alpha 31 to 60-day layoff. Lots of things to like about number 4, Be a Bull. 2, Feels Like Flying, a logical contender, too.
Yes, it would be remarkable if Feels Like Flying could finish second and third
I'd
in
love
this
it.
race. I did have Be a Bull in third, so I completely agree with what you're saying. Feels Like Flying is another one that loves this distance. 2 for 3 at 7 furlongs, also coming off a victory, but again, like I mentioned, it was against condition claimers.
Yeah, but he really likes this distance, and you know what, with 7 furlongs, if you like the distance, I'm there. He's had 3 races with 2 wins at this distance, but you're right, he's stepping up from that condition claimer going 3/4 of a mile, but I think you're the horse you got to have on the ticket. And you see, we're basically in agreement in this race number 6 today, so that, as I mentioned, is the first leg of the Pick 5 this afternoon. When we go to race number 7, we'll be turning back today to 5 furlongs. These are 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weight. Scratched the number 6 horse in here, and we both used the number 10 Unknown, and the reason I did was because of the workout pattern at Palm Meadows.
Yeah, well, what a great name for a debuting 2-year-old, Unknown, because that's literally what it is. You don't really know what to expect, but this daughter of Spellbinder has been working really strongly in consistency up at Palm Meadows for trainer Carlo Vaccarezza, and he does very well with his first-time starters. Don't love the far outside post, but I suppose it's better than the rail, who we both have in second.
Yeah, I mean, and he's off the tracks, a $50,000 daughter of Curlin, debuting for Roderick Rodriguez. As you mentioned, a couple of really solid gate work showing at Gulfstream Park West. The freshman starts a career from the rail. She's got Lasix, she's got Edgard Zaya, so if the outside post too much for number 10, maybe a horse like number 1 off the tracks can be on the ticket. I wanted to mention one other thing before we talk about the horse we both have in third, and that's Star Millie. The rider of the number 2, Go, Diana Griffiths. I remember Diana Griffiths riding at least 15 or 20 years ago, or 10, 12 years ago. I don't think she's ridden in many years. She used to be a rider at the place formerly known as Calder. Back when I was young, that's how long ago it was.
Wow, well, I'll be looking forward to seeing her today. She's got a leg up on me.
Yeah, at number 3, Star Millie, we both have in third.
Yeah, this one has the experience edge over the other 2 in this race. She finished third behind the Stanley Gold Trade Silent Prayer in her career debut on May 6th. I thought she made a pretty nice run that day. She got up for the show after being fanned 7 wide, and she had odds of more than 40 to 1 that day. I don't think you're going to get that price today.
Yeah, she ran pretty good. She's a daughter of Cowtown Cat, and I agree with you. You know, she was really had up against her. She closed. You don't know if the race was collapsing in front of her or not, but she ran well, and she's got that key that you said. She's got that previous experience angle where a lot of these other horses are unknown. So we'll see. We'll use that word in there. So race number 7, guess what? That's where you go deep with these, when you're doing the Rainbow Six with these 2-year-olds, because so many of them have not started before. Race number 8 today, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claim is 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, or 3-year-olds, $12,500. Both main track only participants have been scratched out of the race. That's number 11 and number 12. And I have the number 1 up here, Havamaya Street, and this one will depart from the rail today after rallying to finish third against the same caliber of competition at the distance last time out. It's the son of Bernstein, and I give him the tepid call. This race, to me, was really hard to decipher.
It was, and I completely agree with you. We have the same top 3 horses, but in a little bit of a different order, and these 3 horses all know each other very well. They've all run against each other. I ended up giving the nod to Ben Jacob because he's beaten both of the other 2 before. He's hit the board in 3 straight starts since returning to the grass for trainer David Rakoff, and going to take a slight drop from the $16,000 level today. He got up for third last time out on May 30th, but the edge the other two horses that we have on the ticket have is that they're going to have a little bit of a freshness edge.
Yeah, and Ben Jacob just couldn't do it. 1 for 45. Could not put him on top of my ticket. At 1 for 45, it's tough to do. Maybe he'll get that elusive second career victory today with a slight drop in competition, like you said. We both have the number 9. You are so perfect on the ticket, who's certainly a candidate for a rebound performance today. Was really impressive, beating $12,500 maidens at the distance. Then comes back and runs just a so-so fifth behind aforementioned Ben Jacob and Harrimeyer Street. That was back on May 9th. Mike Petro, Tyler Gaffney on saddle. You expect this horse to bounce back today and be part of the mix, especially with these horses very friendly with.
Yeah, completely agree. Disappointed me last time out, which is why I couldn't put him on top, but I would not be surprised at all if he rebounded and won this race.
Well, let's go to race number 9 today. 1 mile, these are maiden claim. It's 3-year-olds and up, $10,000. We'll have 9 runners in the field today. No scratches or jockey changes to report, and we both went with number 4, Drimmer. And when you look through the past performances of this race, Drimmer's been on the turf, but it looks like the logical choice to get it done in this spot.
Again, this is a race that is wide open, and I would use the same phrase as you did in the last race. Going to give Drimmer the tepid nod here. I've trusted him before. He couldn't come through, but I think he finds a good spot today, taking a class drop, returning to the main track, and he finished second when going a mile on the dirt back in March.
Yeah, number 9, Wild and Wild, is stretching out to a mile. Showed some late interest in its last race when finishing a distant 5th against this caliber competition. That was going 5.5 furlongs. Maybe to stretch out to this one-turn mile, wake this horse up, and he can be on the ticket. He's on the board right now. Not now. I mean, the morning line is 10-1 on him. Just thought he can run well in there. Who else did you have on the ticket?
I used the 7 Power from the Charles Carey barn. He's also going to look to rebound with a surface switch. Finished 7th on the grass last time out on May 24th. But 2 starts back, he was 4th against Similar at Tampa Bay Downs on the main track, and that was after getting bumped at the start.
Well, let's go to race number 10 this afternoon. This one is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We mentioned at the top of the show that we have a carryover in the Super High 5, over $4,000, so they're going to bet this pretty heavily. Got a full field of not 12, 13 runners, so we're going to make it awful tough to hit that Super High 5. And also, this is how you end your Rainbow 6 sequence. Do you go deep in here, or do you go like Katie and I did and put the 4 Lion Soul right on top of your ticket?
That's a tough question, but I like Lion Soul a lot, and I might end up going, not deep in this race because you really want to go deep in some others more so than here. Lion Soul's from the Ralph Nix barn, made her turf debut last time out on May 14th, came away with a half length from victory as the favorite, set the pace, just got caught in the final strides. Second start over the surface, you'd imagine she'd be better.
Well, number 7, Moonlight Matinee, is dropping to the $12,500 level, set the pace, just missed second, go against $16,000 maidens at this distance on the turf. Here's the problem. This sort of Hello Broadway has got to stay out of a speed duel with the number 4 horse in here, Lion Soul. Otherwise, it's going to set it up for a closer like the horse I put in third, which was the 11 Pat M's Image. Did you see the race that way, or did you just think that Lion Soul had the ability to just steal off in this race?
I thought Lion Soul had the ability, but you could definitely see, especially in this kind of race, more horses up on the pace. But Moonlight Matinee, I think she's one that's improving, but we'll see if she can stay the distance.
Yeah, number 11, Pat's M's Image, who I have in third, is another dropping a notch. Recovered from a slow start last time out to stalk the pace and finished 4th behind aforementioned Moonlight Matinee. I think the faster they go up front, it will be better for this, this horse here. I think the race sets up for her. But, Lion Soul on paper is the one to beat in here. So, I'm going to go a little deeper, but not much deeper than the 3 horses I have up there.
Yeah, I agree. I threw in, speaking of 3, par 3. How about par 3? This one, I think, could also, using a similar strategy as you, as taking a horse that might come from off the pace, was a gaining 5th last time out in a turf sprint, going to stretch out today. That should help her, too.
Yeah, it'd help her today, too. And the horse, I pick a long shot each day. It's the 3 Adar. Hasn't run since Gulfstream Park West. And keeping with that same theory that I was using, this one likes to run late. There's only 1 for 21, but if things collapse up in front, maybe a horse like the 3 Adar, or the horses that we mentioned, par 3 or something like that, can close and get a share. I think the horses that we mentioned, besides Lion Soul, who you might want to have on top, you got to put on your Super High Five ticket. Well, that is how we see the 10-race card on Saturday with that fantastic $300,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six.
I'm really excited to see your Rainbow Six ticket today, Ron, because this is going to be a challenging one, but what a payoff you can get.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's only a 20-cent wager for Katie and I. We'll see you a little bit later on. We're going to turn it over to track announcer Pete Madman Aiello.
Have a great day. Good luck.